What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. This is for entertainment purposes only. It's Sunday, we got some time, and I want to dig a little bit deeper into the Bitcoin. You know, because I hear some arguments on both sides, and you know, I want to be a part of the cryptocurrency moving forward, but I want to make sure I understand, you know, cryptocurrency as a whole. And that's one thing I really didn't understand. So I figured we could take a little dive. But first off, you know, I just want to mention something. You know, I hear this a lot, that you can't find good information on YouTube. You can't trust anyone. And yeah, there's a lot of people, you know, monetize people that they're trying to get you or sway you or make money off of you, and I see that, but there is good information out there. You just need to know where to look, and I know this for a fact. So this guy right here, Mr. Stock Mo, I found him a while ago at the beginning of the pandemic. He had this ugly studio with this big brick wall behind him. I mean, I think I have a better studio than he did when he started. Now I can't compete. He's got quite a nice setup, but you know, I found him. He was a financial advisor. He came out and started doing these YouTube videos, and he was saying, hey, I think, you know, these couple of stocks here, these could do very well. And I'm like, okay, you know, and it kind of clicked with me. I went out and looked up these companies for myself, and I'm like, yeah, I could see that. So yeah, I threw down some money, and this guy right here made me thousands of dollars. So there is good information out there. You just need to know where to look. And obviously, once channels get monetized and they start becoming more flashy and clickbaity and all of that, because, you know, he went full-time YouTube now and he needs to keep his views up so he can continue to make money. I see that. I get it. But I still think this guy knows his stuff, and I trust his judgment. I do. So I was looking into, because he's into cryptocurrency. Okay, what are you in? His biggest position out of everything right now is Ethereum. And he does his homework. So okay. So here, you know, there's one side of the argument, you know, he's an investor, okay? But then you also have this guy, Mr. Simon Dixon. I like watching his videos. He seems to really understand the financial system, and I like to, you know, pick his brain and see what he knows. You go, this is all stuff I want to learn. So he's a big Bitcoin guy. He's saying Bitcoin, that's it. You know, it's the only sound money there is. It's the only sound money. But also, Bitcoin is really the only you know, digital currency that the governments are fighting. They don't want it. It seems like because of the power draw. You know, it's not good for the environment, all of this energy that the system's chewing up. I mean, these graphics cards, you know, there's farms of them. You know, there's thousands of them in some places, these graphics cards. And I mean, it sucks. If you were trying to build a computer, you know, I wanted an RTX 3090. I still do. I want an RTX 3090. You know, retail, they're, I think, like $1,200, but they were going for $3,000 to $4,000. I was like, no way. So I wanted to do YouTube. I needed a graphics card. So I found an RTX 3070, and I paid $1,400 for it. For a $700 graphics card, I paid double. But I had no choice. I had to. Otherwise, I would not be doing this right now. I can't do it without it. But, I mean, these graphics cards, you have farms and farms and farms of them. They're running to solve a problem, so that they get to write the next block in the blockchain and make a little money from it. But it's sucking up power, and it's not good. You know, it's slow, it's clunky. So first off, We might as well just kind of dive into this a little bit. This is Bitcoin versus Ethereum. What's the difference? And this is by Investopia. And we're going to get into the charts at the end. And we'll look at forex plays and stuff like that. That'll be at the end. But I want to look at this first. So Bitcoin versus Ethereum. So Bitcoin, obviously, was created in 2009, or launched in 2009. Introduced by Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto. Bitcoin offers the promise of an online currency that is secured without any central authority, unlike government-issued currencies. There are no physical Bitcoins, only balances associated with a cryptographically secured public ledger. Cryptographically. Why can't I say that word? Public ledger. So it's no different than, our banks today. It used to be cash. Cash was king, right? And then debit and credit cards came along and people were like, ew. But then it just became so convenient, and now everybody pretty much uses, debit and credit cards for everything. So you don't hold any, like a physical item, a piece of paper. I mean, you can, but, basically, there's a number in my bank, which just, it's a representation of other people's debt to me. That's all it is. And it's just a number on a computer somewhere. Or many computers somewhere. It's kind of weird. It's a little scary, but I mean, that's how it is. So let's see. Although Bitcoin was not the first attempt of its type, but it was the most successful. So, it wasn't. I didn't know that. Bitcoin was not the first. Interesting. But from what I understand about Bitcoin is it's slow, it's old, it's clunky, it's designed to be 100% like it can't be tampered with, and it's secure as all hell, because the ledger goes out to, every computer that's running the software for mining. Everyone has a copy of that ledger. So everyone knows what everyone has at all times. But, again, the graphics cards and the power consumption is just not... It's not going to be good long term. So Ethereum... Ethereum basics. Blockchain technology is being used to create applications that go beyond just enabling a digital currency. Launched in 2015, Ethereum is the largest and most well-established open-ended decentralized software platform. Ethereum enables the development of smart contracts and decentralized applications to be built and run without any downtime, fraud, control, or interface from a third party. Ethereum comes complete with its own programming language that runs on a blockchain, enabling developers to build and run distributed applications. So it can do a lot more than just be a cryptocurrency. It's a software. So I see Ethereum as the I've seen some really interesting stuff here on Ethereum, and this is why I'm trying to dive in. Why is Stockmo he's got 200k in Ethereum? I mean, he believes in it. So why is that? And then you got Simon Dixon saying no. Bitcoin is the only sound money. It cannot be touched and tampered with. But the energy consumption, they're not going to just let that go. They're not. And it sucks not being able to get a graphics card when you want one. I mean, shit. I still want a freaking RTX 3090 with as much VRAM as possible, because I still play games sometimes, and I run into like VRAM issues, and sometimes DaVinci is not as fast as it could be. I really want a 3090 so bad, but I'm not paying $4,000 for one, sorry. But here it is. Bitcoin and Ethereum currently use consensus protocol called proof of work, which is the computer's working, which allows the nodes of the respective networks to agree on the state of all information recorded on their blockchains to prevent certain types of economic attacks on the networks, and also keeps people from spending the same money twice because everyone agrees on the numbers. In 2022, Ethereum will be moving to a different system called Proof of Stake. As a part of ETH2 upgrade, a set of interconnected upgrades will make Ethereum more scalable, secure, and sustainable because it's not using as much power. So I was looking into, staking and Ethereum because I'm like, what? I see staking on a bunch of different coins on, my wallet, but I don't see Ethereum. So I was looking into it, and this is another great channel. 99 Bitcoins. He kind of just puts it in plain English, like he says. Anything you want to know. Staking, Ethereum, any of it. So if you have questions, I would check out this channel. Definitely cool. But to stake Ethereum, you need 30 Ethereum tokens minimum, and you need a computer that's running all the time. I mean, a dedicated computer running all the time. And basically, you have to put up that 30 ETH, and you can't touch it. It's just there. Can't touch it for quite a while. And if your computer goes down for any reason, you can be penalized and even kicked off the network. So it's like really important that you have a computer, battery backups, whatever you got to do, but it needs to stay on. Which is crazy. Like what happens if your internet goes down and it's Comcast's fault? I don't know. Guess we'll have to read the red tape, but there's some things about Ethereum that kind of confused me a bit, like these NTFs. I mean, are you serious? People would pay $10,000 for a cartoon picture? For $10,000, I'll send you a picture of my butthole. Yep. Any color lights you want me to, yeah, I'll accommodate. I mean, what in the hell? $10,000 for a cartoon monkey. Interesting. But I do see a lot of cool things that can be done with the Ethereum network so that you don't need banks. So they have the Ethereum, and then they have these different, these other little coins and they're different protocols. Like the internet is a layer of protocols built up to make the internet. And with Ethereum, you don't need banks anymore. You don't need banks. So basically, instead of banks or the Fed, giving money, basically people or a pool of people that have money that's just sitting there doing nothing, and maybe they want to make a little extra money off of it, they can put it into this pool, and it actually can be loaned out, for like a home loan. I'm not saying it's being done now, but it can be. It could be done for like, oh, you want a home loan? Okay. Well, you can get some money from this pool of people that are willing to lend, and I don't know how that would work. Like maybe they'd, obviously it would depends on creditworthiness and all of that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, home loan, car loan, and you don't need a bank. You just need people that are willing to put up some of their money and make a little money for doing it, So what is staking? That's a good question, right? What is staking? Like a lot of things in crypto, staking can be a complicated idea or a simple one depending on how many levels of understanding you want to unlock. For a lot of traders and investors, knowing that staking is a way of earning rewards for holding certain cryptocurrencies is the key takeaway. But even if you're just looking to earn some staking rewards, it's useful to understand at least a little bit about how and why it works in the way it does. If cryptocurrency you own allows staking, current options include Tezos, Cosmos, and now Ethereum. Via ETH2 upgrade, you can stake some of your holdings and earn percentage rate reward over time. This usually happens via staking pool. So that's kind of a cool thing about the pools is, you know, you can stake some of your crypto and you don't have to have a computer running all the time. So you're staking it on someone else's, you're putting it into a pool on someone else's computer. And obviously there's a fee there. So you're not getting as much as you could, but you know, you're getting some rewards for staking your crypto. Kind of interesting. So with staking, I had one big question, right? Because with Bitcoin, it's proof of work. You have, you know, everyone has pretty much a fair chance. If your computer solves a piece of the equation, you get a piece of the transaction. It's like, it's fair game across the board until, you know, whoever, but it's like whoever has the most money, right? Because whoever has the most money, they just go and buy the most graphics cards and they're gonna have a better chance. So it still seems you know, unfair that in that way. But you know, with Ethereum and, you know, proof of stake, you know, basically you don't have the graphics cards running full tilt all the time trying to solve an equation. You have to just put some of your money up, you know, proof that you have proof of stake, right? You have some ETH that you're staking. But my question was, well, couldn't technically someone just, whoever has the most money buys the most ETH and has the most, you know, or a computer with the most ETH, wouldn't they get, you know, the bulk of the transactions? Wouldn't they kind of corner the market in that sense? But I saw in, you know, one of those videos on 99 Bitcoins that no, that's not true. It looks like it's written into the code that it tries to make it as fair as possible across the board, no matter, you know, how much money you have staked. I mean, it looks at a lot of things, like the time it's been there, how much there is, and all of these different things. And then it's calculated on how much of a reward you get for that. You know, supposedly, I'm not sure on that. But just at, you know, at that level of proof of work, proof of stake, yeah, I definitely see that proof of work is like, no one can mess with it because there's competition of computers, but that's not sustainable at all. It's not going to last. I just can't see that going on forever. I think, and the governments, that's what they're fighting. They don't want the proof of work thing. That was the big thing. So this proof of stake definitely seems, you know, more sustainable and possibly the better option when it comes to cryptocurrencies. So I do think that, and I've seen a lot of people say that that Ethereum eventually will just overtake Bitcoin, you know, at some point. And maybe that's true, maybe that's not, I don't know, but it just seems that, you know, with all these different protocols for Ethereum, that you can do all these different things, I do think it's more usable, and if it's more sustainable, then it's probably going to be the top dog at some point, just at that simple fact that it's more sustainable. So I do think that eventually Bitcoin will possibly fall. I don't know, unless they change something and they make it work better. Alright, the best part. Let's look at some charts, right? So I added, I already had ADA here, but I added Atom, XTZ, DOT, and KSM. These are from different data providers. I think some of these are from Coinbase. Yeah, these are from Coinbase. This is from Binance. And one of these is actually from TradingView. But yeah, looking at some of these charts, I mean, a lot of these charts are looking rather appealing, to be honest. Like, look at XTZ, man. As far as charts go, this looks really good. I mean, obviously, on the 6-month chart, you got these big wicks here, but it's new, it's a little volatile. I don't think there's too much concern there. And obviously there's institutional investors. Yeah, we are going to get some wicks here. But this trend here, I mean, I'm looking at the lows here. This is the monthly chart. This looks pretty good. This looks pretty good. You see, the last time we came down here, we had this nice pin bar candle here. It started going back up, came back down, and now look at this. We have this nice, almost flat indecision. Buyers and sellers kind of butted heads, and hopefully that's a sign that the market is starting to roll over. And I mean, as far we're at the bottom of the trend line, so there's no better time than now, I would say, to jump into this. And of course, there's always that chance that this could drop lower. Oh, tea's ready. Sorry about that. Nothing like a nice hot cup of tea in the morning. And I must say, I am digging this this Yeti cup. It's quite nice. But yeah, anyways, so I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking. I'm going to put $500 into Ethereum, and then the other 250 and 250, because I'm going to split it up. I'm going to put 250 in Atom because of that 10% yearly yield. And then I'm going to put another $250 in ADA because I've always kind of liked Cardano, ADA. So McAfee, right? The computer security guy. He was a little crazy. I'm not going to deny he was a little bit crazy towards the end of his run there. Obviously, the drugs were not kind to him, but you cannot deny that guy was a brilliant guy. He created this software against viruses. He was a tech guy. He was at the top. He's seen things that other people have not seen. So he was like all ADA. Like that's the way to go. That's the only one. So I do respect his opinion. So I always kind of wanted to throw some money into ADA. I did like that McAfee guy. He was an interesting fellow. So that's what I'm gonna do. And also, I noticed something here. So looking at Bitcoin, right? I was just looking for this last high happened it was the 8th of November 2021. Let's look at Atom. 8th of November 2021. We were right here. We came all the way down, and it made another rally from there, all the way back up to $44, and then came back down. Bitcoin, from that last high, just came straight down and didn't have another spike up. So obviously, that 10% yearly yield is keeping people here. So that's a good sign. That's a good thing. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm picking Atom. Because of that yield, I do think it's going to keep people there. Should help keep it a little less volatile. And ADA because I like it. I don't know. And I looked into gold a bit, gold and silver, right? So gold is a way of preserving your wealth. It's not, you don't buy gold and then hold it for a long time. And obviously, yeah, you make money when you sell the bars. You made more money than what you paid for it. If you time the market correctly, obviously it will go up in value over time, but that market's controlled. Just like anything else, that market is controlled. So you're basically just preserving your wealth. It's not like a speculative asset, really. It does go up in value, but so does inflation, and by the time you sell it, you really don't have more money. And yeah, I do think it's good to have some of those kinds of assets, just preserve, no risk, just, straight up. And, I do want to get into gold and silver, but like now it's just not the time for me, personally. I need to buy a house. I need the money. So for me, I get copper and brass for free. And, I've actually gone and looked in a dumpster a few times and like, holy crap, there's a freaking motor there. So I jump in there and grab it and pull it home. Rip all the copper out of it. So, copper and brass, they're the same thing. They're going to go up in value over the long term. Copper has gone up 7.5 times in the last 20 years. So, that's kind of what I'm using instead of gold and silver. I invest a little bit of time, and I have to pay for some propane gas, which is like $25, $30 for the bottle, and you can melt a ton of copper. So I think I have about 240 pounds of copper bars and about 60 pounds of brass bars right now, and a little bit of aluminum. It's probably a little over $1,000 in metal right now. Obviously, I had to invest time and gas into that, but I'm just gonna sit on it long term. I'm not gonna dump it. Not right now. But yeah, those are kind of just to preserve, and I think the Bitcoin, Ethereum, the foreign exchange, these are like speculative assets. And maybe these will become not speculative at some point, but you can actually make some decent money off of these. And it's, I do think Bitcoin is going to be, I think there's going to be a lot more interest in it, especially with what's going on right now with the war. The Russian ruble, their money's going to crap. It's worthless because their leader doesn't care. And then you have the lady in Canada who donated $50 to a cause that she thought was good, right? And the government didn't like that cause and didn't like that she donated, so they, without a trial, stripped her, froze her assets, took everything, and she's got kids and a family to take care of. I mean, are you kidding me? Without even a trial? That's scary, and people are gonna see that. That's where I think, Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to come into play. And a lot more people will be rotating into this. And if that Ethereum network, if that's going to be sustainable, right? It doesn't chew up a lot of graphics cards and power. And I'm sure they're going to incorporate FedCoin in there and roll it into probably the Ethereum type network where you can do a lot of stuff with it. I think this is where it's at. This is my opinion, and this is kind of where, I'm going. It's like one of those things. You research and research and research, and you're always learning new things about it, and it's just, this is kind of where I'm at. So the JPY pairs, honestly, they're making me a little sick to my stomach because, I missed out huge on these, especially on Aussie JPY, man. Like, I wanted in right here and I just didn't do it. And yeah, it's crazy, but that's part of learning how to do this. So as of right now, nothing has changed since the last video. Euro USD is up a little bit, and there's a certain forecaster that I like to watch, and I watch their forecasts, and I see how things play out, and then I try to figure out why and how did they call that out? Why did they call that out? So I see sometimes where they're like, because they don't put trend lines on the chart, and they're just like, yeah, it's going to go up to this level, and then it's going to come down. And then you throw some lines on the chart, and you're like, oh, that's how they arrived at that spot. You threw a trend line on, and there it is. There's your call out that you were telling me about. And they're pretty accurate. They're not always right, but most of the time they're pretty spot on. So I do enjoy watching their little forecasts that they do on Saturday. Not that I just go and dump money into whatever they're saying, because I did that a while ago in the very, very beginning, and that was a bad idea. A very bad idea. But they are forecasting that Euro USD is going to make another drop. And they're forecasting that this drop will be the last one. And it may drop, it may not, but they're expecting possibly one more push to the downside. And then, they're forecasting a huge, the move up. They're saying, it's going to make a move down. We're not trading it. We're not trading it. We're going to be waiting for the buy, because the buy is going to be massive. So there's way more upside potential, they're saying, for Euro USD than there is down. So that's a good sign, at least. And, why are they forecasting that? I would imagine it's because we're following this trend, right? And they could be wrong, and this thing could blast through this and go down. There's always a possibility. But that's definitely, I think, how they arrived at that. Okay, well, we're going to be heading up from probably somewhere here, but this is going to make one more move down. And like I was saying in the last video, is because you don't just, most of the time, it's not that you just come down, touch a line, and go flying. It takes a little while for everything to kind of roll over, and the sellers to stop selling, and the buyers start picking up, and then it starts pushing. We've only just hit this line on the monthly chart, so there's a very good possibility we might have to wait another month for this to start rolling up. So I'm gonna just hold tight, and if this thing makes another drop and it's much lower than this one, I may add on, because I only have 10,000 units here. It's not too much. If this thing makes another drop, as long as we don't break this swing low, I'm gonna add on. I'm gonna put another, I think I have to do 11,000 units, because I can't do two 10,000 unit orders for whatever reason, but I'll do 11,000 units, and I'm gonna hold this. And I think, honestly, I really think this is what I was missing the entire time. I would get in a position, it would be in the green, and I'm like, oh, great. And then, sometimes I would take profits, sometimes I wouldn't. And it always came crashing back down at some point. And then if I got into the negative by over a couple $100, I would start to panic, and I would take the loss, and then later see that I didn't need to take the loss because it went my way anyway. It just took a little while. So yeah, I think that's a huge part of my trading failures, is the patience to just sit there and hold. And if you want to make big money, you have to be willing to lose big money. Even though I don't want to. But like I was saying with the tax stuff, it was like, if you had the choice, if it was put in front of you, you can either get nothing back on your tax return because you have to pay the IRS, or you can take that $2,000 and risk it in the foreign exchange market, and there's a possibility, if you do it right, you could make some money, or you take the loss, you get it, you write it off, and now you're getting a tax return. So it's like, okay, well, I either just pay them the money because I have to anyway, or I risk it and see if I can do something with it and make more money. and then obviously I'll owe them more money, but I will at least have made money. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like a no-brainer. As long as you don't lose too much in 1 year. That's the key. So if you start losing over $3,000 in 1 year, that's not good. So I try to, cap it at like $2,000. If I lose $2,000, then I really got to just slow it down and cut it out for the rest of the year. But so far, we've done all right. I mean, we're down, but it is what it is. It's part of the learning process, and we will be there. I can almost guarantee it. I can taste it. We're right there, man. We're right there. And then obviously this one is, I am a little bit over risked on this, so this, I don't know. This is the toughie. Like, do I get out and try to get back in on this line that I should have got in? Maybe I should have waited for, or maybe I should have seen this double top, saw that push, took the 500, and then tried to get back in there. But see, that's another part of learning. And there's been times where I'm like, I'm gonna take profits. I don't think it's gonna go anymore, and then it just keeps going. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my god, what the hell? So I don't want to catch these little tiny individual waves and moves. I want to catch the big picture moves, long-term hauls, man. At least monthly swings would be nice. And yeah, we'll see what happens this week with Neo and all of that. Still not in Neo, but things are starting to look good. But yeah, anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up if you feel like it. I'll see you in the next one.